It's time to talk Aggie football with the interim head coach of the Aggies, Nate Dreiling, on your exclusive home of Aggie football, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Coming off a bye week, Nate Dreiling, head coach of Utah State, kind enough to join us. Coach, how the heck are you?
Hey, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You able to decompress a little bit on Saturday, watch a little football, sit around the couch, and be a couch potato like the rest of us?
Yeah, exactly right. Thursday and Friday, we were kind of out recruiting Salt Lake and the whole Cache Valley area. And Saturday, watched a little football and got to enjoy things, kick my feet up, play with the kiddos.
Well, Coach, I kind of love this tactic that you've taken with this team where you kind of pressed and pushed them early after the return from Temple and got some practices under your belt and then gave some time late. How are you feeling about the decision on how to handle this bye week?
Yeah, I think it went well. We'll see on Saturday, obviously. You know, the big thing was we wanted to get in and improve and fix things after our Temple disappointment. So, and then on the back week of this, we'll get our players' legs back and get them feeling fresh so they're ready to roll on Saturday. So that was the mindset anyways. We'll see. Hopefully it pays off.
Yeah. Overall, morale of this team from a mindset standpoint, because not only are you an X's and O's, you're a bit of a psychiatrist too, as the role of a head coach of a football team. So from a morale standpoint, from a personality standpoint, where are they at right now?
Yeah, you're kind of the thermostat. You got to not only see what temperature it's at, but you got to be able to adjust it, right?
Yeah.
The big thing is everyone's hungry. They want to get back out there and they want to show them their best and they want to be a resilient group like they have been. So, no one wants to start 1-3, but at the end of the day, we're 0-0 in Mountain West play, and our goal of a Mountain West title is still in front of us. Now we just got to make sure we handle our own and continue to fix things, and they did a good job last week of handling that.
Is that your message to them, Coach? We still have everything that we started into this season in front of us?
Yeah, there's no doubt. This is, not the start we wanted, but all in all, we're somewhat relatively healthy. We got all of our pieces in place to make a title run, just like we talked about in the offseason. But now, even more and more importantly than ever, it's never about the opponents, about us. So until we start fixing these little details that continue to pop up and cause our self-inflicting wounds, we're still going to be upset after every game. So that was our whole intention this bye week, to make sure we fix us and then have that roll into our opponents.
How do you tangibly do that? When you say we got to fix, some of the mental mistakes and things like that, how do you go about that as a coach, trying to address those specifically?
Well, I think if you look at the tape, we're struggling in critical moments right now. We have false starts when we don't need them, or holding calls, or missing tacklings, or missing alignment at huge moments. So it's trying to find ways to simulate stressful situations in practice, right? Whether it's a ramped up period with having everyone screaming and hollering, or having a tempo period to making sure you're locked into your keys. But in critical moments right now, we are failing as a team. And that's why we're off to a rough start. Utah and Temple are out to a two-score lead, and it just evaporates as the second half goes. So it's being able to finish at these moments now is our huge emphasis.
As far as the health of the team, Coach, now coming through the bye week, do you feel like you're where you need to be? Do you feel confident that you've got the talent and got guys healthy? Yeah,
I think there's no doubt about that. We're a little thin at defensive line right now, so hopefully we get a couple guys back. But everywhere else, we're pretty much to full speed ahead, which is what you want leading into conference play, right? Obviously, having Spencer back and healthy back at 100% is always going to be helpful too now.
Nate Dreiling joining us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Genty may be the best running back you face all year. Is that a fair assessment?
In my life, yes, that's a fair assessment. I think you knew that answer too. He's been unbelievable. Watching the Washington State game, Washington State fit every run play exactly how they were supposed to and gave up 270 yards to him. It's like tackling a thoroughbred. I mean, he's so strong. His balance is unbelievable. He's out there hurdling people. So our huge emphasis is getting to the ball, and that's bodies to the ball. We know it's going to be hard for one guy to bring him down, so our pursuit needs to be relentless. So if someone does happen to miss a tackle, we got someone there to clean it up.
Coach, I was thinking about my whole life. I started out younger as an excuse maker, and I would make excuses for everything. And then, you get going in football for as long as I've gone in football, and there's just no room for it. Coaches force it out of you, and you got to take accountability, and excuses don't matter. How hard has it been in this season with everything that's out in front of you guys? How hard has it been for these players and for your staff to take accountability and just say, hey, you know what? Nobody's feeling sorry for us. We got to show up and we got to do the work. Has that been tough with everything you've faced?
You are spot on. Whether it's this summer with how everything went down or our start, the big thing is nobody cares, right? Nobody on the outside cares. It's all about us being able to handle our circumstances. And, we talk about having tough people. Toughness is not whooping somebody's butt. It's how you handle every situation. And right now we're in some tough situations, so we need to roll our sleeves, continue to be resilient, have our backs against the wall, and continue to swing. And what I've seen in practice, it's been everything we're asking for. Now we just got to have it continue to show up in game. But it's that mindset upstairs in your head saying, yes, I can, and yes, I'll continue to do it. And if we can do that and have trust in our teammates, we're going to be right where we want to be at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Nate Dreiling right here on 97.5, the EKSL Sports Zone. I got to ask you this in a generic sense, knowing you got to be somewhat careful, but how was the weekend in terms of recruiting, and how's the message of Utah State football being received throughout the state?
It's fun right now. Obviously, the big news was heading to the Pac-12. So if you're a high school football player, you don't have to travel across the country to get into one of these Power 5 teams, right? And now we can be right up the road from Salt Lake playing the best football, have automatic bids to college football playoffs. And I think that's the hard thing at recruiting at a G5 level is everyone wants to play at the highest level, right? Just how you're raised. You want to be with the best. And now we can say that in 2 years we are going to be at that, right? So as far as high school recruiting, now we get a chance to try to beat out Utah and BYU, and we're all at a somewhat level playing field. Now it's just got to continue to build these relationships and get all these players around our coaching staff and see what great people we have up here.
Coach, how many times have you prepared and played on that blue turf in Boise?
This will be the first time I have never played on green turf or grass, so it'll be new for you. Obviously, I've been watching Boise for a while, so it'll be fun. I think it's already sold out, and they got an awesome thing going. So hopefully we can ruin their Saturday night, though.
What are you seeing from their quarterback, this Matson kid that actually won a very difficult quarterback battle to be able to take that start at Boise?
Yeah, beat out the number one recruit in the nation from a couple years ago. So he's a tough kid who facilitates the ball when he needs to and doesn't make bad decisions. Right now we're just so far behind in our turnover margin. That's why we're losing the game. And you look at Boise, that's not the case at all. So he does a great job of managing the game and getting the ball when he needs to their skilled receivers. And then the other half is just handing to the best tailback in the country. We could have Scotty G back there looking pretty good, handing the ball off too. So it's making sure we take the tailback away, and then after that we have to get this quarterback off his spot and force some tough throws.
Well, you mentioned that that Washington State, from a schematic standpoint, apparently did everything right. Genty deserves a ton of the credit, but how much of it is with what they've got going on up front too?
Yeah, they're the complete team. I think there's, they lost Oregon by 3 points a couple weeks ago. So, and Oregon's arguably one of the best teams in the country right now. So they don't have a lot of flaws. They recruit at a very high level and they play tough football. Something exactly like how we want this program to be run. We want to be tough. We want to have a bunch of unbelievable kids on and off the field, right? And are forcing teams to beat us by doing things they don't want to do. So hats off to Spencer on how he's running that program over there right now. And like I said, it's just going to be about us, though, and roll our sleeves up. And if you're a D lineman and a linebacker, you're going to have a lot of fun because it's going to be nonstop running football.
So, Coach, I know that you've got your hands full with game duties and game prep, but I am curious with the Pac-12 announcement and the shift and move here in 2 years. Have you been in any concept meetings of, what to improve, what's going to get better, what will change, anything that could potentially improve or maybe greatly change here in the next 2 years?
I don't have any of that info. No, I haven't. I've told our athletic director I'm just going to focus on beating Boise, and you keep running the show on that. But as far as funds, we will have a lot more money rolling through here. There's obviously so much more revenue sharing now that you're in a Power 5 conference. So the amount of money towards facility to revenue sharing with the players, all that is going to obviously increase drastically. The biggest thing is we just got to make sure in 2 years when the time hits, we got to hit the ground running and make sure we recruit right now at the very highest level.
Well, Coach, look forward to chatting with you a little bit more on Wednesday on the Coaches Show right here on The Zone and other network stations. But have a great week and look forward to getting it going in Boise coming up on Saturday.
Best of luck.
Let's do it. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
There he is, Nate Dreiling, head coach at Utah State. Aggies and Broncos coming up on Saturday.